Hello ladies and gentlemen, MarauderEX here with parts strung together to form an episode of Let's Play Panzer Dragoon Saga. So I've went through and did a bunch of side questing, backtracking type stuff. Here I am at Uru South fighting the Kabbalah. The best way to deal with them is just AoE them. You get one shot before they run away, so at this point an AoE will take them out. They are also a ridiculous source of XP should you want to power level, and they are found right near the bird nest that we just found previously. So there's a little set of rocks just like southeast of that, just like you can still see the nest as well, so it's very close. So just circle there and you're fine. And if you run out, if the ambush yellow circle fades away, just leave and come back and do it again. That's really all it takes. Then this next section is if we come down here to the room with the proto-dragons and go down the water tunnel that opened there that originally took us to a completely different section, now takes us to B?F. So this place, B?F, we can't take the dragon in because the whole gimmick to it is, as you can see, one-way paths. So it's a, once you choose to go in this particular direction, you're going in this direction until you hit the end. Now, there are several different pathways, and each one will give you something. There's one that will give, quote, the mother lode and give like 6 treasure chests. Now you can see on the map there where I've been and where I was going, which is I'm heading to the 6 treasure chest one now, but you actually want to go to each and every one of them because the others will give you chips. So like shield chips, power chips, speed chips, things like that. So it's still very much well worth it to go after all the others because you get a fair number of them, and the only thing that it costs you is a little bit of time, because once you finish a section, and like I said, it's one way. Once you hit that section, it takes you back up to the previous floor where we just were, where you click to go down to the dragon room, and it's lather, rinse, repeat. So as long as you do that and go through each and every one of those tunnels, you'll clear out all of the treasure in that section, and like I said, it's well worth it. You also want to be careful about where you go, because each of them have the little click to enter sections, which will automatically take you out. And I actually screwed up the first time I did that and skipped this treasure room completely because I accidentally hit that click to enter that just popped up and missed everything. This section leads to basement, or B?F, which is where the quote mother lode of treasure is. Everything else will just be B?F through its various different pathways. So once you finish the section, just click the little enter, and you show back up in this same little section here, B3F East, and that's it. You just go back up, and you'll be in the main floor with the dragon chamber. There is a little bit of a secret here. I was talking about the MarauderEX. Once you get to this point, if you go to the north from here, it's up a one-way tunnel, and the MarauderEX will be there, except these are a new breed of MarauderEX. So we're going to go fight those. I have not gotten a good rating on them because they're just a pain. So I know there's a strategy to it, but if you go up this one-way path on the dragon, it will get you into fight to rare MarauderEX. What makes these rare is they're playing a game of hot potato. They are throwing a bomb around, which, as you can see, changes the safe zone. And I just shot the bomb and knocked it away, which kind of helps. but kinda doesn't. Because as you can see, these flowers, the flowers function the exact same way as they did before. But now they're a little sentient because they can move. And one thing you can do, instead of having to have all of the Absorberac face straight up, you can just make sure there's not one facing you, because they will just discharge in the direction that they are facing. But after a period of time, they go back and get their bomb because they want to play with their bombs. They like bombs, apparently. They're freaking weird. And as you can see, I'm kind of stuck in a game of hot potato. If you shoot... I don't know if I can shoot the bomb again. I don't remember what happens, but I screw up, and the bomb explodes. Like, they kick it over to me, and it explodes in my face, and it gives me a close call. So, yeah, I went the wrong direction, so that's what did it. The explosion kills everything, gives a close call, and you get nothing for it. So, I'm going to try to do that again off screen, but now that I have defeated them, they are added to my enemy collection data. So, working toward that 100%. And now you just leave this section as you would normally. I tried to go back to see if I can get into another fight, but it doesn't work. I did edit out a fair bit of this. I didn't want to edit out too much more because I didn't really record. Like, recording large chunks like this, it takes forever. And so you're like, okay, I don't know how much actual usable footage is in here. So let's just go. But I do backtrack in everything that I can get here. We can get all of the treasure chests in this section of Uru, so we can completely clear this out and not have to worry about it ever again. So like I said, by the end of it, I did go back and get all of the extra chips from the different pathways on B?F. And now we will actually want to go south. And key point, the southeast dot that's almost literally right below us, that is the exit. That's the way that you want to actually get out. Like I said, it took me a little while to remember because that's not the way I was used to having to go to get out. So by the time you hit back at this point, you may or may not remember the specifics on getting out. That's how you do it. But for now, we're going to go south because this will actually take us into the dome room, which there are a couple of things in the dome room. One, it's the way to get to the other group of treasure chests that we had to skip the last time because our laser rank wasn't high enough. Now the laser rank is more than high enough, so go in through the dome room. And I don't know why I hang out here for a second. I guess I'm trying to think in terms of where am I going. But it really doesn't matter, because we're just going the same way that we went the first time. So I guess if I was thinking that it was wherever it would be if I had a speeder bike, the little floater. So, and from that we basically just go east and up. So, or I think that's north actually, from where we were going, because looking at the radar, I'm pretty sure the line that's always on the radar is north. So, just continuing onward, getting some cool stuff, going down, and that's where we want to go. That'll give us all of the treasure chests that are down here. And the sad thing is, a lot of these treasure chests are not worth much. We saw in B?F, like, I got stuff like the amber-colored treasure, things that are basically, you sell these to a vendor. They don't do anything on their own. Or you know, much of anything on their own. So now that we've got our dragon back with its laser rank, we're able to get all of these treasures, and mostly these are just going to be dual blast chips. Like, really. There's not a lot of stuff here that is worthwhile. And it just kind of makes me question, why is this here? Like, I could understand, like, the Elixir Maxis Dynast chip. Why did we get a Dynast chip? That's like, these things are worth, like, 10 gold. The D-Unit 8, actually important. That was important. We have one other D unit to pick up here in this this dungeon. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the dome room, because there is one other pathway that we have not taken in the dome room, and it'll give us a lot of insight into what the purpose of the D units are, as well as some other things floating around. So now that we're back in the D unit room, or not D unit room, the dome room, haha, D unit room. If we go through the north pathway, we see that there's a door in front of us that we've not gone in. Go here, and it will bring us to the records room of this bioweapon laboratory. And as you can see on the map, there's a lot of green things. Get the treasure chest in the center, and that's D Unit 7. And then we can access these, which tell us stories. This is the compilated data from the scientists, and they talk about the Light Wing, which is what they consider the ultimate dragon. There's going to be a couple of things here that talk about the Light Wing and how they researched it, and then they also talk about the history of this place. This place was attacked. A drone couldn't be found. She was apparently stolen, but she was not completed. Hopefully not becoming an instrument of destruction. We'll soon have permission to implant the mechanism. With it, we should easily clear the targeted value. However, there's a serious defect. That's a little concerning, isn't it? Drone F07 Thought Index. So, basically, this is talking about all the drones that failed. So, they created a large number of drones that just failed. Problems that already been solved by manipulating its lifespan. We shall name this drone Azel. So, we now know about Azel. The institute which considered the development of Light Wing, a renegade project, has ordered us to delete all records regarding the Light Wing. But we decided to record and seal all the data regarding the Light Wing into one memory plate and divide it into 12 pieces. So that's the D units. Every D unit is a fraction of their compiled data for creating the Light Wing, which is what they consider the ultimate dragon. And they're hoping that one day other people will come forward to inherit their work, and which is what we're doing. The Light Wing has some significant positive properties as to why you would want to keep it as your final dragon class. There are two possible ending dragon classes, so there's an advantage to the Light Wing, but there's nostalgia for the other. And I'll talk about those more when I get actually to them. And that's really it. So once you finish with that, exit the way I told you on the previous floor, and we are going to go to the world map. And once here, we're going to go to the excavation site itself, where Edge can get up and walk around without the dragon, not the dungeon-esque area with the dragon. We're going to come here, and we're going to look around, and we're going to find some very sad news. Like, we look over here, and there's a person who's not what we recognized from before. Mangled corpse. If we get closer to it, we find out it's Radgum, the gentleman who gave us the tri-burst, Apparently he was ambushed and killed by a monster. And finding him, we take his large gun. He'd want a hunter to have it, which is going to be part of a side quest for later on. And with that, that's the end of this episode. So I'll see you guys when we pick up the story.